Welcome back. The now dethroned Miss North Carolina USA, Brittany Boltonhouse, and her legal team have filed a defamation lawsuit against pageant officials.
The suit alleges the organization weaponized social media and tried to destroy her reputation.
Boltonhouse was stripped of her title earlier this month after old social media posts resurfaced online. Joining us now this morning, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, this isn't so much about necessarily the pageant and the rules and code of conduct. Is it more about defamation, or what she feels like is defamation?
I had opportunity to read the complaint. I looked at the social media post that her attorney posted, detailing a number of things that they were listing in their complaint. So there is not enough time this morning or multiple days to unpack all of what I read. It's about 79-page complaint. But I will say that I can pull out a couple key points that I think that they're trying to go at. First of all, in terms of her using the N-word multiple times when she was a teenager, he overemphasized the time frame that this is something that she did when she was a teen, that she had since changed multiple times from that time frame to now when she won that event, that it was clearly posted during a time frame and no one had issue with it until after she won. And then, as he characterized it, social media sleuths then dug this up with an attempt to try to disparage her name. They also make the attempt to say that she can use this term, and this is a logical step that he's attempting to make. When you first make your complaint, you list the parties and you say, hey, Miss USA, Miss North Carolina, and they're defendants. And then you say plaintiff would be her name, where she lives, and that's it. But right under that paragraph, there's a second paragraph where he goes on to detail her background, her history, where she's from, where her grandparents are from, listing that she's Afro-Latino, an attempt to make it where it's justified that she is now Afro-Latino and she could use the term. Doesn't directly say it, but she would never put that in the complaint at that moment unless you're trying to have the reader make the gap that, okay, now she's making this comment because she's allowed to say it. He also lists a number of songs to support how that term she used wasn't racist or derogatory, but more slang term. He used the Migos song Bad and Bougie, used a couple of other terms within there in the footer to recognize while this term was even played during the performance, during the competition, using the very term that now she's accused of using. So I can commend her attorney for at least doing the research to try to make a number of jumps. I just think defamation, the standard is pretty clear. Did they make a statement that they knew at the time was false? And because she would be considered a public figure, was there some actual malice? I don't think they would be successful on either one of those claims. However, all the other parts of this complaint where they're saying that she was robbed and stripped of her title, I think there's teeth to that portion of the complaint. Defamation, not at all.
Okay, they're also asking for compensatory damages, saying that, you know, she can't get work anymore in the future, right? But she's also asking for a jury trial. Is that rare in this case, or do you see that all the time? Do you think that it'll go to that?
Yeah, this is what you want. You don't want a bench trial with one person, a judge making a determination. I want to put this in front of a jury, allow them to have an opportunity to make a determination. And again, they have multiple recordings of the individuals that are the defendants in this case saying a number of things that don't support the arguments of why we terminated her and dethroned her was because of the racial statements. A lot of the conversations from what they've listed in those auto recordings were, we don't like your political statements. We don't like the things that you said about the Tate brothers, that now they have issues with women, and now you've outly supported them in the past. And because we're a group that supports women, we think that we should distance ourselves from you, which is a different argument than what you said about her making the racial statements. So I agree with our attorneys' logical steps that you're saying one thing, but our audio recordings that you didn't know you were being recorded say that you were removing her for something entirely different.
Right. It seems like they're backtracking a little bit. Khalif, I mean, let's get down to what this exactly is, what you kind of talked about. If she was darker complexion, if her hair was natural, would we be having this conversation? Because it seems like we're going to be going to court over whether or not she can use the word.
I think, again, I think that regarding how they removed her, if you remove all the political stuff aside, and it was just the use of the N-word, I think they would still be justified because of the pressure and the diminishing of the brand, and they would have been able to, even if she would have been a darker complexion person, I think. But now their own words will be used against them. This is a case study of why you need legal representation. I would never say, hey, you got to hire me, but you got to go hire someone. If you didn't have legal representation on this phone call, when you're talking to this young lady about why you are removing her, some of the stuff they're saying is not supported by why they publicly removed her. I mean, it's saying your post, which is now political speech, now we're going at content. That's going to be a First Amendment violation. I mean, there are a number of concerns that I have with the reasons that they were telling her on the phone calls, because it were two, why they wanted to get rid of her. And she pushed back a number of times on that second call saying, hey, you could see that she had spoke to someone, had some type of representation at that time, because she's saying, it doesn't sound like the reason you're removing me is because of this. It's because of these other posts. And I think they may have some teeth to this argument. So her attorney, I think, far stretched for defamation. But she may have a strong claim for the reason that they removed her was based on political speech and based on the things that they are alleging. She has the tapes. She has the receipts.
Interesting.
Right. Hopefully she has a Khalif-level attorney representing her.
We'll see about that.
We'll see. All right, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.